Hello everyone, welcome back to Art Maxing on Adobe Live. My name is Jacob and I am super excited today because this is a special double trouble, double feature, crazy episode where we have the one, the only, Jess Goldsmith from Making Decisions. Welcome to the show, Jess.
Thank you for having me. If anybody is here from the last stream, thanks for staying on. I'm really excited to finally be a guest on Jacob's show.
Yeah, drop in the chat, everyone. If you're coming over from the other show, I see a few people already popping in. We have Delicate Type in the chat saying hello and good morning to everyone if it's morning, good afternoon if it's the afternoon. Of course, if you're not familiar with Art Maxing, it's a show all about getting points and drawing and being rewarded for just having a good time. We have a couple people from your stream coming over today. That's really exciting. Hello, Ariana. Welcome to the stream. But of course, one of the main things of the show is we do have some objectives, some secret, some not secret. These objectives are pertaining to, the non-secret objectives are pertaining to Jess's art journey, and the secret objectives will only be shown to you guys. I'll go ahead and pop up that secret prompt or secret objectives on the screen right now. So Jess actually cannot see these, only you guys can. And of course, if Jess gets any points throughout this stream, you'll hear this sound and you'll see a little point system, and we'll be keeping track of points and everything. No, you don't get to hear it, unfortunately. We got to keep it secretive, you know, but I'll call it out for you. I will definitely call it out. So of course, we got to know what our objective is. Are you ready for your objective, Jess?
Yes, let's go.
Your objective is to take the design that you designed in your episode and make a poster out of it. And we are up live on Illustrator right now, ready to go. I see Monica's in the chat coming over from Jess's stream. Came over just because of Jess. Thank you so much for popping by. And MG as well. Welcome to the stream. But
that's my mom.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Welcome to the stream. That's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a timer up on the screen just so we can go ahead and get started. You have about 55 minutes, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little more. But are you ready to rock and roll, Jess?
I am ready in like 3 seconds. I don't have the chat open, so I'm going to mute myself and open up the chat and then mute the video and then come right back. But if you want to say some stuff to the audience, in those 3 seconds, go ahead.
I'll fill our time a little bit. Yes. So I am really excited to have some people in today, especially for something like this, because this is, you know, something that's very special. Oh, sweet. Okay. So you ready to rock and roll? I'll go ahead and start our timer and we can get rolling.
Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, so if you guys weren't here on the Making Decisions stream, we basically ended up with this design, Salt Lamp. I'm not going to explain it. You should go back and watch the episode.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, just go ahead, go back and watch the episode. It was a good one. So I guess what I'm going to do is create a poster, like maybe like an advertisement for salt lamps.
I love it.
I think what I want to do is get like a photo of one. So I'm going to open up. Oh, can I share my Photoshop? Do you see my Photoshop or no?
I do not, but that's okay unless you're wanting to work in Photoshop as well.
I might want to work in Photoshop as well, but I'm just going to talk you guys through what I'm creating. So I want to get a photo of a salt lamp, and I'm going to use generative AI to do that.
Ooh.
Generative fill, and I'm just going to type in salt lamp. And while I'm waiting for that to load, I'm going to see if I can share Adobe Photoshop. Share. Okay, amazing.
Oh, beautiful. There we go. Yeah, we can see it perfect. Oh, nice. Amazing.
Okay, cool.
That's the one I'm the most used to, the one on the far left, like the kind of just one big piece of crystal.
Yeah, I'm going to try another one, a rock salt lamp with a wooden base.
So I'm kind of curious, just to kind of interject a little bit. Do you use generative images often, like in your workflow? Like, do you find it more like easier than trying to like source from Google or anything like that?
Yeah. So like, firstly, when I'm like creating, oh wait, hold on, wait, which one do we got? Which one do we like, guys? I'm kind of into this last one. Um, so obviously there's always like a licensing issue if you're taking something from Google, but if you're
Hmm.
making something for personal use, I'm sure people would argue with me on this, but personal use, I don't see an issue with it. As long as you're not making money off of it, selling it, or trying to say that it's yours, that's fine.
Hmm.
Um, and then if you're looking through stock photos with licensing, sometimes you just can't find exactly what you're looking for.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's where Gen AI really helps me out. So yeah, I am a fan in that capacity.
I have to
And I use it,
say,
yeah. I use it often for like reference images as well for like my illustration.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's the main thing that I like about it the most, is especially being able to get hyper specific.
Yes.
I definitely had like a bit of a stigma with just using it, just not even really from like an ethical standpoint, but more from like a, it just didn't make a ton of sense to me. Like, I couldn't really lock in what I wanted to do. But I feel like the more I played with it, the more specific it got, weirdly, like it's kind of cool. It learns.
Yeah, it learns. It learns. Okay, let's get back into Illustrator.
Jamie says in the chat that she is so here for this. I am too. I am also here for this. I think this is
Oh,
going to
yeah,
be
Jamie.
so
The
sweet.
third stream when a parent is coming to the daughters of a
Yeah,
son's.
yeah. It's pretty good.
My family watches every week, which is really
Oh,
really
I'm in the
yeah.
dreaded lunch spot, so my mom's always working.
Well, she can watch the replays.
That's true. That is
Okay, I'm trying
absolutely
to
true.
get this. Okay, here we go. I got my salt lamp.
I love the energy of this already, because I hope this isn't a. It's funny. I could
It's funny.
100% see this on like a boardwalk shirt,
Oh
like
my
a
gosh,
what?
yeah. I love those.
It's
Okay.
so cool.
I really might end up going back into um uh Photoshop for this.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like there's so many more effects that I want to play with, but I mean, I'll let the audience decide. Like, do you guys prefer for me to try to figure this out in
Yeah, yeah.
Illustrator? Because what I'm trying to achieve is going to be significantly harder, but I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah,
You're the
maybe we
boss.
can throw a little poll in the chat if that's possible. Illustrator or Photoshop. See
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
what the vibe is. I find myself, as of recently, especially because I'll draw in fresco and import into Illustrator, like kind of bouncing between Illustrator and Photoshop and then back to Illustrator and back to Photoshop. Like, I was never that type of person though. I was always just like, I'll just do it in Illustrator, figure it out, add textures in
Yeah.
Illustrator. But it's kind of hard.
It's hard, and I feel like it makes your system move a little bit slower
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
not it like, yes, you can use all of these like implements, all of these, what's, I don't even know what the word is. You can use all of these features, but it wasn't like built for that specifically. I That's how I feel. Photoshop was specifically made to like edit photos.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're talking about Photoshop. We're talking about tools and features and things like that. So I figured might as well be good a time as ever to ask you your first question involving you to get a point on the board. How does that
I
sound?
ask I ask a question.
I'm asking you a question. You
Oh,
have to
okay,
answer
go
the
go
question.
ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm like,
I worded that a little bit weird. Well, actually, we have our poll up from what I'm seeing. It's a little cut off for me,
I'm
but
seeing I think I'm seeing Photoshop.
yeah,
Oh,
looks like
now it's at 50-50 now.
We'll let that run for a second. I'll
Yeah,
ask you this
we'll let
question
that
and we'll
run.
see what people say.
We'll let that run.
But
Trying to do rainbow dolphins.
yes. So my question is actually pertaining to your show, Making Decisions.
Okay.
If people in the chat just jumped in, you are the host of the show prior to this slot. So Making Decisions, definitely check it out at, I guess for my time, 10 a.m. MST, 9 a.m. Western
Pacific.
time, Pacific time.
12 and
um,
12 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern. Yeah, we're learning. We're learning.
Can I tell you, every single time I post about it, somebody messages me. It's like, "Oh, you got it wrong," and I'm like, "Oh, What do you want from me?
I relate to that. I relate to that very hard.
I can't do it.
I panic. I'm like, is this the? I don't know. But my question for you is, today marks 5 weeks for us, which is pretty sweet. 5th episode for both of us. But I want to throw it back all the way to week 1 and see if you remember week 1.
Okay.
What? This is a not multi-part, but I should say multiple choice question. So I'll give you. It's kind of like an alley-oop. What Adobe Illustrator feature was heavily highlighted in your first stream? Was it 1, generative recolor, 2, 3D and materials, or 3, type on path?
I think it was type on path.
You freaking nailed it. You got a point on the board. I just hit all the points at the same time, which is actually really fun. It just like ding, ding, ding. That's so funny. Oops. Looks like our border just got a little knocked over. There we go. But yeah, you got a point. It was type on path, which I really enjoyed because I feel like I learned a lot.
Thanks. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
It looks like Photoshop is winning, so I'm gonna like bring all of these elements into Photoshop. I'm just gonna like hit them with the copy and paste.
Sweet. Also, thanks for that call out on the overlay shifted. I think we got that fixed. It was probably me switching over. Got a few comments in the chat, though, talking about kind of going back a little bit to Gen AI. Monica says, I'm also not a fan of using Gen AI in final versions of art pieces. The internet is so saturated with it now. I gotta say, I feel like I do understand the sentiment. I think there is a way to use it as a tool, and I think that's kind of the goal for a lot of these Adobe applications for generative AI. Is not a replacement, but more of like a tool, like put it in the artist's hands. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was actually just talking to is Jamie still in the chat? I was just talking to Jamie this morning and we were talking about AI and like discussions with AI. And I was like, there's a lot of negativity around it, and I totally understand that, but like it is a tool and it's a very helpful tool, and it needs to be we really like can't globally, I mean, I guess eventually we can have laws in place and I hope that we do, but currently we can't globally police how people use it, which like right. It is what it is, like that kind of sucks, but I think it's important to stay up on like what is working, what is new, and like what's happening, and like what is turning into the industry standard right. of your industry.
I mean, and I think that that is a good point though, because I think when you think about technology and you think of industry standard, you use that word industry standard, which I think is so like crucial. Unfortunately, our line of work is something where if you're not keeping ahead, you get left behind. And you can think of like, you know, artists back in the day. I'm sure when well, not even sure. I know this for a fact. I've read so many articles and so many things about artists back in the day when digital art and Photoshop and Illustrator first dropped. They're like, this is going to kill art. This is the art killer, right? So I think personally that this is just the next step in a direction. Again, as long as we highlight it as a tool, as something that can be in the artist's hands and not a replacement, I think that's incredibly important. Got a few more messages in the chat. Jamie reporting for duty, and I am an AI stan within reason. Welcome to the stream, Jamie. I'm glad to have you. And also, Robert Winterberg saying hi, Jamie, and hi, MG. Hi to everyone. People used to be skeptical about calculators, and they thought that it would mean people would forget how to do math. We've learned.
Jokes on you. I'm still skeptical about calculators, and I never knew how to do math.
Absolutely. There's a reason we're artists. Okay, that's all I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. Well, for me, that's absolutely a fact. We've now learned that calculators can support math. I think AI is the same. We just need some regulations around it to protect people. I agree. I think that we are working towards that because more people are expressing their concerns and feedback is being taken, which is really nice in my opinion. I like that feedback amongst companies is being so receptive, or I should say the companies that matter, you know?
True. Agreed.
What I'm gonna do for you, Jess, just because I'm noticing a little thing in here, I'm gonna go ahead and throw another freaking point on the board for you because you actually hit one of your secret objectives.
Can you tell me what it is now that I did it?
I absolutely can. It was used cool tone colors in your design. And I mean, there's like blues in here. There's like purplies.
There, and I probably will end up using more anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it on the board. I think that it is, it counts. I think it counts. So we've got a couple more. I think we have about 4 more secret objectives. So really excited to see if you hit those today.
What do I get if I win? Eternal glory?
You get on the leaderboard. There's a leaderboard. So
I didn't know about this, and I'm about to crush all of y'all. Let's go.
So everyone in the chat, if you don't know, we're working on a leaderboard that's going to be probably closer to the 2nd or 3rd episode of February. Looks like we also are having some questions in Behance. So thank you for that call out, Robert. I'm just going to pop over to Behance real quick and see if we can see those questions. But do you want to talk us through your process while I'm bringing up this little...
So I actually just used the star tool in Adobe Illustrator to create this because, I mean, star tool is one of my absolute favorites ever. And I'm going to put like a little... This is going to be like a very sarcastic, silly little poster design. So... hold on to your horses. Hold on to your seahorses, my friends.
I love that. Seahorses.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, we've got a bunch of people in chat over on Behance. Welcome in, welcome in. Ray, Martina, Helena, Sean, Clever, Galal, Robert. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for watching over on Behance. Let's talk about Behance for a second because that's something that I feel like, unfortunately, because I like to be vulnerable, I haven't really taken advantage of in my art career until probably like I started working with Adobe. Do you feel the same, a little different?
I feel similarly. So I feel like back in the day, I guess is like whatever you want to call it. Behance like wasn't as popular. I was not around.
I'm joking.
I was not around then, and you weren't either. You're younger than me. But yeah, back in the day, I wasn't using it as much. One, it wasn't as popular, and two, like my philosophy with like where I share my work is like I'm sharing my work where the clients are. Like if the clients aren't on Snapchat, I mean also for personal use, I haven't used Snapchat in literally years. But yeah, haven't. But then Adobe bought Behance, and they've implemented all of like these new features and ways to get hired and ways to like highlight artists. So like I'm more into it now. If you remember at Adobe Max, they made like a really big announcement about the capabilities of selling and things like that. And like literally sitting in the audience, I had my phone out and I'm like, download Behance, and like just started like uploading all my projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my first exposure to Behance was with my first host on Adobe Live ever, which was Kieran Lewis, amazing dude from England, if I'm not mistaken. He was telling me all about the fun of it, and he was telling me about how advantageous it can be to do like a little breakdown. Like we did like a what do you call it, like a package design mock-up for like a pro tips. He was hosting me, and I like broke down that whole package design process, and it led more people over to the stream. It got more people over to my social media, and like I don't know, I feel like Behance is nuts. Like it just is so powerful of a tool to just be like an online portfolio, and also can kind of be a portfolio.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
I use it as like an extended portfolio.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Also, hi Frank, welcome to the stream. Said hi, creative people. We are creative people in this chat today. Well, I am already loving the energy of this so far.
You like this?
It's
so you want to
awesome.
salt them? Well, I've got some news for you, buddy. I don't have one.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like the energy It's very like, I think you should leave energy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, that is the energy that I try to like put out into the world on a regular basis. Okay, I think we're gonna need like a quote from there
Are
that
there any
like
like funny salt lamp related or just object related? Anybody in the chat watch I think you should leave? Anybody want to throw a quote out there that we can just implement
you're not
into
allowed to
the
have all of the salt lamps. Like you can't eat all of the nachos.
yeah, I do like that. I don't have one. Awesome. That is.
Yeah, this is unhinged. This is fine, but it's
Yeah.
fun, and that's what's important.
It is extremely fun. So I'm assuming you're and I think you should leave enjoyer, I would imagine.
I'm more than an enjoyer. I am a
Consumer.
I am like I am the embodiment. Like every single person that I know, I'm like, hey, you have to watch a show. And some people don't like it, and like that's actually very upsetting for me because I'm like, oh, I thought different, but yeah,
I think it is a extremely intelligent show, all things considered. It's very funny, like very, very, very funny. Running back a little bit, a few seconds ago of us talking about Behance, Monica Okami says, I recently updated my Behance with recent work to look at their job postings, but unfortunately most jobs are very location specific. Yes, I do relate to that a little bit. I feel like the time for remote work is getting or I should say the opportunities for remote work is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, which is why you should freelance.
I'm very big on freelancing. I became a freelancer by accident, like just no one was hiring.
Well, you have to tell the story now.
I mean, just nobody was hiring me, and I was like, I'm going to start my own company, and I did, and like I did, and I failed, and I did, and I failed, and then finally, I just like, I just kept doing it. And
how long have you been a freelancer? Like, what did that journey look like for you?
I think like about 10 years.
Wow.
Well, like I mean 10 years on and off ish, like it's hard to like really say, but I sorry, I was so parched.
No, you're fine.
I just like I didn't go to school for graphic design or anything, and like I know you can't tell by this poster that I'm making, but yeah, I didn't go to school for it, and I just knew that I wanted to do something artistic. I was always an artist. I was always somebody that loved creating and being creative, but I couldn't like find a way to do it. And I did go to college. I went to community college for like 2 or 3 semesters, and I remember I took a graphic design class and I started crying because I didn't know how to do anything and I was so upset. It was horrible. And yeah, I mean that's but anyway, like I kept doing stuff, trying to figure it out, blah blah blah. And eventually like I got a job like doing social media for like a med spa, and I was using the C word.
Yeah.
And
boop, just like censored.
Beep. Well, look, Adobe Express didn't exist then.
That's true.
But I did not know how to use Adobe Illustrator. I did not know how to use any Adobe products, and I remember I had to send something to print. Which didn't even know what that meant. And they were like, this is so funny. They were like, okay, well, like we need you to outline the font. I was like, bet, got you. I start going like this.
I love that. Yes. Yeah.
And they were like, no, we need you to outline the font. And then I was like, yeah, I did. And they were like, are you dumb? And I was like, yes. Actually I am.
I am dumb.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. Thank you for recognizing me for who I am. But obviously eventually I learned through like watching YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. And just, I don't, it's always weird when I say like, oh, I taught myself, because like I learned through watching other people's like videos and streams. But yeah, like
that's
I guess
self-taught though, I would say, like, because you are taking the initiative to seek that knowledge. Like in my opinion. And Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we had a very similar journey in terms of art creation and um
Like,
like discovering ourselves, because I also felt very like school wasn't for me, so I had to find an alternative. And I worked at Apple for a long time, for
nice.
2 or 3 years, and it was okay. Like I had great support there and a lot of people that wanted to see me succeed. And it's actually really funny. There's a I don't know if I've said this story on live yet, but I'm going to for everyone. So it's it's an interesting one. So the way that my art journey kind of started was I started posting on TikTok. Like I picked up traction and I was, screen printing and messing around with Illustrator because that was the first thing that I learned. I was using like clip art and Photoshop for a while, and then I moved over to Illustrator to draw my own guys. And I was recording, I was working from home in the office. So it was like what's called like AHA, like when you call Apple service and they're like, hey, need your help or whatever. Help me unlock my phone. But uh, while I would take those calls in between the time of like being put on hold or whatever, I would just like record a cheeky little TikTok and talk
Oh,
about like, whatever thing. Like I just opened up my print shop, or I just opened up blah, 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 blah. Um, and I actually got yelled at by corporate, which was really funny because I was showing serial numbers to parts
wow.
behind me, and they're like, "Hey, we're totally supporting your creative drive. We're totally supporting your creative endeavors, but please, if you're going to take videos in the workrooms, censor it
That's,
out." I'm like, "Okay,
that's
cool,
fair.
yeah, it
That's
was nice." So.
Yeah, it's nice that they said that instead of like, what are you doing?
Mm. I'm also seeing in the chat that we're talking about a little bit of going freelance. Monica's saying that the path the path of freelance is the one that she's on right now. I'm considering whether I want to start advertising my freelance business soon. Robert says outside of the US, I think LinkedIn is better for
Huh.
to look for jobs. I and I'm also seeing Monica saying that she's had a little bit of trouble with getting jobs through LinkedIn. I gotta say, I have to agree with Monica. Well, I do understand the value of LinkedIn. I definitely feel like
So much
I
so
have, yeah, yeah. It's not very
then.
curated. That's for sure,
It's
at least in my opinion. And speaking of curation, what a beautiful segue. Also, sorry, I'm getting a bunch of chats. Emily Poole in the chat says, I need a salt lamp. Hi, Emily. Welcome in. Thanks for
Oh,
popping
you want a
by.
salt lamp? When I got some news for you, buddy. I don't have one. 1-800 buy a salt lamp.
Oh my gosh. Says audio keeps cutting out for delicate type. How does audio sound for everyone else? Do we sound okay?
Oh,
Just want to make sure that we're not
yeah.
clipping in and out before I ask you this beautiful transitional question. But you're doing great so far. I have to say, we're not even halfway through, and
Oh
you're
my gosh.
absolutely
What am I gonna
crushing
do with the
this.
rest of my time?
I know. I know. Maybe we
I
can see
would
if we can throw it on a mock-up. I don't know if you have any mock-ups ready,
uh
but that could be cool.
you know what? I can use Gen AI to create one.
Love that. We
Yeah.
all want a salt lamp then. Kate on Behance says can hear just fine. Oh, okay. Delicate type refresh the page says sounds good.
Amazing.
So my question for
Also,
you.
hi, Delicate Type.
Oh
I know you.
yeah. Oh yeah. A good friend. And maybe potentially next guest. My question for you is actually pertaining to curation. You also run a little page that people may or may not know about
Yes.
called Women of Type.
Women. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very inspirational, I would say, like highlighting non-binary and women all around the world, and all with different diversities and backgrounds, and all just it's amazing how much diversity goes in on that page and how much work you've put into curating that page, which leads me to you published a book
I did.
of curated pieces, which if you haven't checked out, you absolutely should, because
Let me drop the link in the chat.
Please drop the link in the chat, because I'm assuming that took a lot of work.
It took a ton of work. I also didn't know what I was doing, and I announced that I was doing the book in August of, I think, 22, and then by January 23, it was early January 23, it was already published, which is honestly kind of crazy. Yeah.
I mean, crushed it, in my opinion. I actually ordered my copy last night. I'm not even joking.
You did?
I did.
Oh my gosh, thank
because
you.
You have an Amazon store where you can purchase it, which is sweet.
Well, I don't know that I have like an Amazon store as much as the book is drop shipped via Amazon, because that was the only way that I was able to do it.
That makes sense. But my question is actually pertaining to that drop ship / Amazon store.
Yeah.
What is the rating of the book on Amazon?
Oh my God. 5.
5 stars.
5 out of 5.
That's
Look, I only
freaking point on the board.
Although I only have,
there we go.
I only have 20 ratings. So if you guys have the book, can you go give me more 5-star reviews?
Yeah. Let's use the power of Adobe live streaming to review bomb the book.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Somebody asked, sorry, silly question. What is the voting for Photoshop Illustrator?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm going to end the poll.
Yeah.
But basically we were deciding whether or not I was going to continue the design in Photoshop or in Illustrator. That's all.
Right. Oh, so you started the poll.
No, but I just realized that I am logged into the Adobe.
Oh, so you're modding for me as you're designing.
I should probably get out of that. Oh, also, Monica said occasionally Jess's audio gets quiet, but I can still hear what she's saying.
Yeah, we cranked you up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's on your end. I think it's on mine, because when our audio stacks, it tends to bring you back a little bit. I think it's more the program that we're recording in. Ooh, we've got a bunch of salt lamp facts. How do we feel about some salt lamp facts?
Let's go.
Salt lamps will corrode your electronics.
Okay, bye.
Interesting. So we got asked, what is a safe distance? I'd never have a salt lamp. I would never have a salt lamp in my house. It's often crazy humid in South Texas. Do salt lamps make it more what do they do? I don't actually understand what a salt lamp does.
Light salt action. Do you not see the poster?
Ah, right. Sorry. Gotcha. So for anybody wondering, it's just light salt in action. Next question, or next salt fact. A DIY project: buy a salt stone for animals and put a lamp inside. Okay.
Like, should I give my dogs a salt lamp? They would eat it.
That's kind of cool. Kate says, I've never had one either. My cats might lick them, and that's bad for cats. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know what type of salt they're using. You know? Oh. My cats would also lick it. My cats borderline have pica. It's crazy.
Oh, no. Oh, actually, my dog Ruby does. She loves eating toilet paper. She's obsessed. If I didn't feed her food and I fed her toilet paper for the rest of her life, she would be like so happy.
Monica she really says in chat, salt lamps for the aesthetic, not functionality. Listen, I agree. There's so many things in this room right now that are just for the aesthetic and not the functionality. Yeah. You know?
What's the function of my cutie little dogs?
Truly.
Love and cuddles.
I love that. What's the function of this broken cat clock? It's not telling time.
I have a broken cat clock too.
Mine's really?
Pink. Yeah,
That's
same
so
one.
Funny.
Mine's pink.
Twinsies.
Twins.
So how we? Oh, you know what? I just realized. I am so sorry because we were just talking, having a good time. I just realized. Let me just double check here. Yes. You got another freaking point on the board.
But I do, yay!
You added texture to your design. We got a little bit of like a grainy texture in the back. You're at 4 points.
Oh, you think I wouldn't? I just also want to mention that I have a color halftone up on the salt.
Wait, I didn't even notice that. Wait, how'd you do that?
Very subtle. I just added, well, I had them like separated and then I created like one layer, but I did here, let me show you. I'm just gonna duplicate this. I did filter, add color halftone. And you could do that in,
Wow.
yeah,
Well, I
pixelate
didn't know
color.
you could do that with um like I didn't know you could do that with like photos. I always thought it had to be vectored stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love Photoshop because it really like changes the way that it looks.
That's so cool. Also, Jamie saying that that the show is too fun. I love the hidden missions. Thank you. I I have a lot of fun with this show. So I'm glad that you're having a good time.
Me too.
I'm so glad that you're on, Jess. I have to say, because this has definitely been in fashion most chaotic but the most fun for
Yeah,
sure, which is all I could hope for.
that's my brand, baby. Chaotic and
Absolutely.
fun.
Monica says, I have a broken bird clock. Not as cool, but I'm but also still hanging. I love birds. I think birds are cool.
Birds are dinosaurs.
Birds are robots.
No.
No,
Reject. Reject.
they are. They're robots that the government uses to spy on us. Didn't you know?
I just like don't have it in me, Jacob. I just don't. I just can't.
Monica says that they're gonna have to check out some other episodes for sure. Thank you. We're
Yeah.
4 deep. There's some fun ones. But yeah,
Yeah.
birds
Jacob's
are
on
robots.
every week immediately after my show. So you
I
could just
am.
stay on.
You could do a little double trouble action,
Yeah.
which we love. We were talking actually about doing some commercials for our shows, and I still really want to do that.
I really want to do that. I think that would be so funny.
I recently hired an editor for
Yeah.
some visual stuff, and I feel like it would be extremely funny to be like, hey, can we lock in like the 70s infomercial, like, do you ever have trouble making decisions? You know what I mean? Like, just totally
Has this ever happened to you?
yeah, like black and white. Like
Yeah. But then I think turbo time.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm gonna add that
so
in.
awesome. Salt needs an exclamation point too.
Okay. Lights, salt, action. Amazing.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Paloma in the stream saying hi. Welcome to the stream, Paloma. Dude, I love this, like, is it impact font they're using?
I think it's Anton.
Anton.
But I found out about this font from you, Banger, and I've been using it a lot.
I do love that font a lot.
It's a banger. It's literally a banger. It's so good.
A banger. That's on Adobe freaking fonts. How crazy is that? I feel like this one is kind of like a different vibe than what I usually see. I'm always searching for like the weirdo fonts on Adobe fonts for sure. You know, I feel like they are so cool. Do you have a favorite font right now?
Yes. Let me show you. It's called Haas.
Oh, already know. Love that font. But show the audience.
Let's see where. Oh, I only like to use it with all caps. Like if I just do like,
it's beautiful. Love a bubbly freaking font, dude.
Okay, I don't know. I can't. But like,
woo. Monica says BRB downloading banger right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love Haas. I've used it a lot in the last like couple of months, but I don't care for it. Like only if it's fully capitalized. Otherwise, I'm like not interested.
Do you find yourself with poster design doing only lowercase or only uppercase? I don't know if that's like a rule.
I feel like I just have to like go with like whatever vibe. Like when I'm doing something silly like this, which is not something that I would really like put in my portfolio, unless honestly, if anyone's out there watching this and wants to hire me to create this, like hit me up, jess@chickofalltrade.com. However, if I'm creating something like for a client that doesn't want something like this, it's really like about the vibe, but also like what their branding is, you know? I feel like using like the all lowercase like this is like such a specific, like almost like anti-design style that I think is just so fun.
I agree. I do like the anti corporate kind of fun,
Yeah.
silly. I feel like a lot of companies are taking advantage of that now,
Yeah.
which I think is only to our benefit. So we
Yeah.
have Strumyik in chat, Tomira, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, saying someone said that you could design the bubblegum packaging, which I feel like that might be an idea for next week's prompt, doing some bubblegum packaging. That'd be sick.
Yes, I'm doing that. I'm doing that
Yes.
as I can. I love
Yes.
that.
Thank you, Tamira, for
Oh,
making that suggestion. That's cool. I feel like you'd crush. What's going on here? Hold
like
on.
I asked it to give me salt shaker, and it gave me this. Should I
I like
leave?
it. I love it.
I actually really like it, but I think I'm just gonna like take his head off.
No, keep
You know
that
what I mean?
on. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's got that like unhinged.
Okay, wait, hold on. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna fix this.
What is happening?
Oh, don't you worry.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Oh,
It's
well, we are approaching about the 15-ish minute mark. So I figured I might as well ask you your last question to get on the board. How do you feel about that?
let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of relevant. We're talking about fonts. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan of your lettering work. I mean, that's
Thank
kind
you
of your
so much.
primary work. Um, and how you implement it with relevant topics and, just signs of the times. And it's supposed to be the easiest question, but all these transitions kind of just made them kind of, whatever. But I like what you're doing here. My question for you is, it's a true or false. You have created posters for this iconic pop trio, Charlie XCX, Sabrina Carpenter, and Chappell Roan. Is that true or false?
Okay, like true, but they didn't hire me. That was me.
Yes, yes. So I was giving you the kind of tricky question, but yes, I did want to say true because I know you actually technically did work with one of them though.
Yeah, so Sabrina Carpenter, somebody from Sabrina Carpenter's team reached out to me and asked me to do a tour poster, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my god. And like the best part of that was it was based off of like like that spec work that I did just
Right.
like for myself to get myself on their radar. They ended up canceling the project, which
Oh,
was
no way. I didn't realize that.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait,
Am
did,
I
did
allowed
they
to
give you a reason why?
it wasn't like they canceled like the entirety of like that specific section of
Oh,
the project, which was like city specific posters.
I
Am I
mean,
allowed to have this in here or should I change
I
it
mean
to
it's
frick?
censored,
Okay.
so I don't see why not. This is a family show. It's censored.
Okay. I
Dude,
actually believe it's 18 plus, but that's fine.
dude, I have a story similar to this, and this is I'm gonna be. It wasn't under NDA, so I can talk about it. But this
Okay.
is so upsetting, and I have to tell you about it.
Okay.
I had an experience where this is not a joke. Fallout Boy's art director reached out to me asking me to redesign their logo.
Oh, what happened?
I sent them my portfolio. This was literally 4 months into me freelancing. 4 months into me freelancing.
Oh,
And my
wait. Do you
portfolio
still have his
was
contact? You should like hit him up again.
I
Be like,
still
by the
have
way,
it.
I'm better. You
I
should hit.
did. I did. We're trying. But yeah, they it's so funny because the prompt was asking me to do like a smiley face, frowny face that's combined. If you look at their
Yeah.
logo, that's their logo now. Like it's the
Yeah.
smiley face, frowny face combined. But I just like I didn't have a good portfolio and it didn't work out and I was so sad. But also I'm like, I feel like it's an achievement in itself to even
Yes.
be asked, right?
Yeah. Like when I posted about the Sabrina Carpenter thing and I posted that I didn't actually end up like going through with the job, but I was like, it's just an honor to be nominated.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Absolutely. I mean, it is there is some like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. There's like some merit in just being asked. There's merit in
Definitely.
just, being considered. It looks like Delicate Type in the chat saying, I made some merch designs for them in November, but I don't know if they got approved yet. Okay, Fall Out Boy is the hot topic.
Oh,
That's sweet. I think I saw that on your close friend story. Those designs were sick.
I didn't see that, but that is so cool, and I'm thrilled for you.
Monica says, Fall Out Boy missed out, but hey, you have an Adobe Live show now. I do. We do. We have an Adobe Live show. I can't complain, truly. I am very thankful that things have worked out the way that they have for both of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like this trajectory happened so fast, and it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of curious too to like, since we still got a little bit of time left, like about 10 minutes, kind of want to dive into your experience with your show and
I hate
your
it.
Expectation. Come on. And your expectations.
No, I'm kidding. I'm literally having the best time, like on my show, and obviously also right now. Yeah.
Like, what did that look like for you though? Because I know for me, with the show, like, not to kind of pull the curtain back, but like, this was like an all-time goal for me, right? Is to be more involved with Adobe in some way, in a way that highlights other artists. Like, that was always my goal. Is like, I wanted to foster a community with a company or with a brand that, is highlights community so much, and like be able to kind of put my stamp on that, like, and being trusted with that by like, the Adobe team was pretty life-changing. I get crazy imposter syndrome about it all the time still, but like, yeah. So like, what did that look like for you? Like, was there like a moment,
Well, I had been doing Adobe Lives like both remotely and in their studio for a little while. So like I knew that I felt comfortable in front of the camera, and like I had already, like, for lack of better words, like forcefully embedded myself in the Adobe ecosystem. It was a big goal for mine also to work with Adobe. And I had just been pursuing having my own show for like months before, which I know that you had been also. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then finally I was asked like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, obviously I want to do this.
Yeah.
I've been asking you forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did have a lot of imposter syndrome with that as well.
I think it's hard. It's hard when you look at things that are already established and then you compare yourself to those things, right? Like, this is, I don't want to sound like blasé or like bragging, because I really don't mean it this way, but like the fact that there's, I think, 2 or 3 slots for these shows and we were chosen is huge.
Yeah.
Like, there's hundreds of thousands of Adobe artists out there.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were chosen is very humbling in a way. I don't know. Or like gratifying is probably the word.
Totally. And I felt like I had a huge responsibility, and still do have a huge responsibility, to both myself and the Adobe community and like all of the creatives that watch this, to like do the best job that I can in every aspect. So like, obviously when you're seeing my work here, this is not like the best of my best.
I love it though.
No, it's great. It's great. I love this. I think it's hilarious. But when I say like giving the best of the best, it's like, let me show you how to do these things that I implement into my work, but like in a really fun way. Like, this is not something that I would ever create for a client or put in my portfolio, but I've been using a lot of like the skills and tools that I would use with clients and things like that in order to create something silly and fun and enjoyable. And like, this is crazy. Look at this. I fucking love salt. Salt is my son. Like, what are you talking about? I love lamp.
I love lamp.
I love lamp.
I don't know. I think that being on this side and initially being the person that was the consumer of Adobe Live, right? And now being the producer or the hoster or the guest or whatever it is such a crazy full circle moment for
Totally.
me, but I also feel like for everyone that's been featured on Adobe Live. And
For
not to get
sure.
like sappy and silly, but
Yeah.
like I do feel like this is like a huge, like, I don't know, a huge milestone that, like, I have a little book, like a little teeny brown book that I write down like all of my achievements throughout the year, just so like I
I
don't
love
forget.
that.
um and this getting to lock in the show like was huge, right? Like it's big, bold, underlined, all that type of stuff. Robert says
Love
in the
it.
chat that it's looking great. I have to agree. Could you, I don't know if you're even allowed to, we should ask though, could you, you should make this a poster. You should sell this.
Oh, I think I could.
That'd be so
Like,
cool.
would you guys buy this? Because it's crazy.
Yeah, in
Like,
the chat, let us know, would you buy the poster?
and why?
Yeah,
What's wrong?
why? Yeah, tell us why. What's wrong with you? That's so funny. Well, I think you're absolutely crushing it. I mean, we're approaching about the 5-ish minute mark before we get cut off of our TV slot, but I I gotta say I'm really impressed with how much you've done in such a short amount of time. And it's also kind of cool that like we get this like continuation from the last episode.
Yeah.
Like it's realized.
This is so funny.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Maybe I'll make it like a limited edition print. Like only 10 people are allowed to buy it, and after that, you're going to jail.
It's
Like,
embossed. You're
yeah,
going to jail.
you're going to jail because
That's
why would you buy
awesome. Clever says, I could see this in a funky magazine. I could too.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tell them.
Tell them. Oh, that's so funny. This
Okay.
is so cool.
I do want to call 1-800 buy a salt lamp and see who picks up.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just an interesting piece. We should go over like the things that I use. So like,
I would love to, because we definitely have some time. If you want to kind of talk us through
sure.
your process and your decisions, and I'll kind of stay quiet.
Yeah. So with the salt lamp, I did that in Adobe Illustrator. That was on the episode before. If you didn't watch that, you can go back to the Making Decisions show, episode 5, and like watch my whole process there. But I used a lot of like distort and transformation tools to like make this happen. So I kind of just only started with that. And then I used generative AI in Photoshop to create this salt lamp. And I added some texture on top of it and added a stroke that matches the text. All of these are just, standard Adobe fonts. I didn't do anything crazy with them. I think I should open the actual thing. So this font is Anton, and I have a bevel and emboss on there. I think these are all Anton, except for this is Banger, and this is Redondo Ave from Hoodspa. Shout out to Hoodspa. Love you guys. Yeah. I love adding like the starbursts and the sparkles, and I mean there aren't sparkles, but like the starburst tool with. And then I was like, there was just like this extra space here. I'm like, what weird thing can I do? I'm like, let's do some call outs. So then we started talking about Turbo Time from I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to just do like a photo of Salt Shaker, and I thought I was going to get like versions of this, but instead they gave me this, and I was like, okay, like I don't know what to do with that. But then Jacob was like, no, you should use it. So I had it talking. It's a person saying, I frickin' love salt, and salt is my son. That's my son.
It's my son.
That's my son. And I had these hearts that I made for like a different personal project like years ago that I just have like in my library, one of my Adobe libraries. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's add that in there. Cause I said, I love lamp, and like what other way to express love than barbed wire hearts,
Well, I have to say, I'm going to switch back over to us. You crushed it today. I think this was so much fun, but I have to ask you some final questions to get you even more points. First of all, did we finish the design? I would say we did.
I I think so. I think it looks good on this mock-up. It's interesting. It's funny. Like maybe I would put this on like a tote bag or a shirt just because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to look at this in my home. You know?
Hide it in the closet. Also,
Yeah.
did we create a mock-up? That is another point, of course. And did we have a good time? That is a question for you to answer. Did you have a good time?
Yes, 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 we did. We did.
Hey, that
Of
is
course we did. I had a freaking
three more points on the board. So we're going to do a final tally of your score. Drum roll, please. And your final score is 8 points.
Woo! Out of what?
I don't know what the max points are. I never really added them up.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, I think that you have the highest score. I think you're on the top of the leaderboard, which is perfect. A perfect way to end the stream. A perfect way to end the creative block of art maxing and making decisions. Jess, do you want to let everyone know where we can find you and what we can expect from you?
Yeah, you can find me in my living room, but online you can find me at Chick of All Trade or at Women of Type. Women of Type is the community page. Chick of All Trade is where you could see my personal work, the stuff that I do, and all of that. And if there's anybody that wants to hire me that's out there, hit me up, Jess at chickofalltrade.com. Let's go. I'm ready.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for watching Adobe Art Maxing, and thank you for sticking around for 2 hours for both of us. It's amazing. You guys rock, and make sure to stick around for the next one. It's going to be a blast. Just bangers back to back. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
See ya. Bye.